Hi, my name is Haya, and today we will be talking about self-harm. The purpose of my videos is to inform, educate, and create awareness and hope around mental health symptoms and problems. And today, like no exception, we will be talking about self-harm and what it is and isn't. And we will be going over some misconceptions, but also some strategies and coping skills to reduce or prevent the advent of self-harm. So we've all heard of someone in our lives, or we've seen people on television and the media who do self-harm, but what exactly is self-harm? Self-harm is any maladaptive or self-harmful behavior that involves, for example, cutting or burning or any self-injury with the intent of harming oneself. It is not a subcultural trend, it is not a phase, it is not a cry for attention, but it is actually a reason that urges us to take control of our emotions when we are going through emotional instability or emotional irregulation, which occurs in a lot of mental health problems, including depression. Self-harm is also a way to feel something when we go through emotional numbness, which again is common in many conditions such as dissociation, depression, and mood disorders and personality disorders. So, what are some ways to reduce self-harm or to prevent it from happening in the first place? Now, number one would be reaching out. Again, I understand that reaching out is hard and may not be possible, but if you do have someone close to you who is a safe person or an ally, someone you can confide in, someone you trust, then please do reach out. I promise you that anyone will gladly talk to you over hearing that you have hurt yourself, because nobody wants you to go through that, and I certainly do care enough to not want you to go through that. In fact, if you guys are currently going through self-harm urges, please comment below and I will try my best to reach out and talk to any one of you who is in that position. The second strategy is distraction. Now, distraction can be of various forms. First off, we have like the commonplace distraction like hobbies, movies, playing video games, drawing, music, television, whatever works for you. The second form of distraction is a little bit more complex, but it specifically is designed by psychiatrists and psychologists to address the cravings and urges of self-harm. Now, what are those strategies? Those are some physical alternatives to self-harm, because as those who have done it know that self-harm is a very addictive thing which makes you feel like you're itching to hurt yourself. And it is a very visceral, physical, intense feeling that sometimes you feel like you need to take the edge off, or you need like a certain buzz or hurt to overcome the emotional pain that you were going through. So some physical alternatives could be ice packs. Now, ice packs are interesting because they elicit a lot of the physical sensations of self-harm, like a burning feeling. If you hold an ice pack long enough, eventually the icy feeling will permeate through your skin and generate that burning sensation that you can also derive from actual self-harm, but that is maladaptive and not allowed. So you can use ice packs, but just a cautionary word of advice: if you are using ice packs for a long period of time, make sure that they're not too cold, or that you do switch them out or take a break, because you can get cold burns. I actually dissociated once during an episode, and while holding an ice pack, I actually did get a little bit of a burn. So it is very painful, and also I would say that that's not the intent. The intent is not hurting yourself, so I would say please be wary of that, or caution someone who is next to you to help alert you to that, or maybe you can set a timer on your phone. Another alternative, and this may sound a little bit strange, is yard duty. Now, a lot of girls may know we have a lot of unwanted or socially unacceptable, socially unwanted bodily hair that we remove. What you can do, and this goes for everyone of course, is that you can use tweezers or pliers to pluck out unwanted, unnecessary hair around your arms, around your legs, and what this will do is it will generate a painful sensation without actually causing any harm. It is innocuous, it is safe. Another one is to pull at rubber bands. Now, if you pull rubber bands, that pulling feeling will actually generate some pain, but that pain again is safe and innocuous and prescribed by psychiatrists during episodes of wanting to self-harm. Lastly, this one is probably the easiest, is to use cold or hot water. Now, if you're at home and you can access a shower or a bath, just run yourself some cold or hot water and let that sensation permeate through your body. Again, if you're using very hot or cold water, just make sure that you are monitoring how cold or hot it is so you don't get any burns. Another alternative for this, which is really useful if you're out in the public and you need to take care of your self-harm urges, is to find a bathroom and just immerse your hands in some water, either really cold or really hot, and what this will do, it will also generate some feeling into your body and maybe calm yourself down and maybe regulate your emotions a little bit more so you feel more capable of going on about your day. And then the last strategy is something that you may not want to do in the heat of the moment because you will be biased or you just may not feel well enough, and that is creating a list of pros and cons. Now, like I said, for someone who doesn't have these symptoms, it may seem like self-harm is all cons, which in the long run it is, because the cons of self-harm are that you are hurting yourself, it is a maladaptive coping strategy, it will eventually become an addictive habit, which will cause you to crave more and more self-harm, more severe self-harm, and the more that you self-harm, you're putting yourself at risk of causing permanent damage to yourself and also leaving permanent scars, which you may not think of much now, but in the long run they can be quite problematic, or they can interfere with like your relationships or other things. They are very socially frowned upon, unfortunately, and just it is a way of hurting yourself, and we have to come across skills and strategies to prevent us from doing that and finding alternatives. And some of the pros, you may think that in the short term, it may give you a sense of control over your body. It may give you a sense of agency. A lot of times people self-harm out of guilt, out of feeling out of control of their emotions, and feeling like they do need to hurt themselves because of a lack of self-esteem. Now you can work through all of the different ways you can combat that, and if you make a pros and cons list, the next time you have those urges, you can look at all of the cons and realize that there's more cons to self-harming than otherwise. And that is it for today's video. I really hope you found this helpful and informative. I would also like to say thank you so much for all of the feedback on my previous video about suicide prevention. If you or you know someone who is struggling with suicidality, please watch the video. I list a bunch of different strategies and advice you can use to prevent yourself from acting on suicidal urges. And I would just like to say thank you for all of the support. If you guys find any of this resonates with you or a loved one or someone you know, please share it and let me know in the comments below. If any one of you is in a dark place and is struggling, again, I am here to help. I promise I care. So please leave those things down in the comments below, and I will try my absolute best to get to all of you and to address those concerns. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for future videos, please also let me know. I am still very new to this. As you can see, I'm making a lot of mistakes here and there. I am not a professional, but I am learning, and I promise I will try my best to improve the video quality and the information quality also for you viewers watching. My next topic for the next video will be eating disorders, but if you have any other suggestions or topics you would like me to address, please let me know. And lastly, thank you for being here. You are important, you matter, and you are worthy. Thank you for watching.